Let's bring in our friend Christina Bobb, who now has a formal endorsement. I just saw her in the Oval a couple of weeks ago. The President of the United States giving it 2 thumbs up. Defiant inside the Mar-a-Lago raid and the left's ongoing lawfare. Her bestseller now, again, with the President's hearty endorsement. Good morning, Ms. Bobb. Welcome back.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. He actually did the foreword for it. So you get a little note from the President himself in the book.
That's so cool. Is he? I'm sure he was pleased with it. Ultimately, it looked like your visit went well.
Yeah, it was great. He's fantastic. We're all grateful that finally we can tell the real story of what happened with the Jack Smith investigations, the Mar-a-Lago raid, all of that. Because, as you know, when there's litigation ongoing, you don't want to put stuff out in the public and muddy the waters. And so we had to wait till it was all over. So finally, we can tell our side of the story. So I'm excited that it's out now.
Sunday at the Kennedy Center, Kari Lake was one of the speakers, and she reminded the crowd, that the lawfare is a real thing that you've all been battling and still are battling. And that, our side, whatever you want to call that, has to be mindful that there are many ways in which the left engages in coming at us. It's not necessarily always gunplay, sadly, that took Charlie's life, but it is lawfare, too.
Yeah, no, they try to destroy us in every conceivable way. It started with censorship. They just want to shut us up and kick us off social media and kick us off the airwaves and the television and all of that. When that doesn't work, then they sue us and try to bankrupt us and try to humiliate us and defame us. And when that doesn't work, they try to throw us in prison and raise all of these fake criminal charges. And I've experienced all of that. And then when they can't throw us in prison, they can't stop us, they can't shut us up, and they're all upset, they then unfortunately resort to murdering our leaders. So it's very, very real. I'm still a criminal defendant in a case out in Arizona. It looks like it's falling apart. Last week, the Michigan case fell apart. This week, the Georgia case fell apart. I'm hoping Arizona, Nevada, and Wisconsin are shortly behind.
Yeah, that is the most recent news. The fraud of Fulton County, Fani Willis losing the last chance to stay at the helm of the Georgia election interference case. I'm amazed that was still a discussion. I thought she had been roundly discredited already, but she was still hanging in there, huh?
Yeah, she has been roundly discredited. I think you're right. But yeah, she was still hanging in there, and the courts in Georgia weren't throwing the case out. And the same is true, with most of these prosecutions. They've all largely been roundly discredited. I mean, I think that the Wisconsin case is the most egregious because they filed that after Donald Trump won the election. So it was just like we hate you so much, we're still going to try to ruin your life, bankrupt you, destroy you, even though they knew the people supported Donald Trump. Everything was perfectly lawful and legal. And they're just harassing Trump supporters out of spite and anger. I mean, that's all these people have is spite and anger. So it's so important that the American public understand that these cases are still going on, and they're very serious. They're very egregious. I've got friends that have lost their homes and families that have split apart because the pressure was too great. I mean, it's very, very real. This isn't just a mild inconvenience. And so I tell the whole story. I give you all the details of my criminal case, of my case. Dominion sued me for $1.6 billion, and thankfully that case has been dismissed, but I tell you that whole story. I was investigated by the Department of Justice, the FBI, the California State Bar, the state of Arizona, all of it. All the dirty details are in there. Of course, the majority of the book focuses on the Jack Smith investigations, which I was roped into both of those. I was hauled before Congress. I mean, what they do to us it's horrific. It's horrible.
And to be clear, Christina Bobb, again, the bestseller is called Defiant. Grab your book so you can read the blueprint, how these people weaponize and use lawfare to silence. Is that ultimately what you concluded in all of this? This is not about real justice. Yeah. This is about making sure you and anyone like you are made examples of and punished in the public square so that you never affiliate with and help promote the likes of a Donald Trump again. Is that the sum total of your takeaway?
Well, that is lawfare. That's exactly what lawfare is. Lawfare is any case, civil or criminal, that's not brought for just purposes, but it's brought to harass and humiliate and defame. I mean, that is what lawfare is. My conclusion is these people aren't going to stop until they are stopped. They've proven that. And now they're trying to get Donald Trump not to prosecute them, to go light on them and say, oh, let's just let the nation heal. Well, he tried that in 2016 with Hillary Clinton, and far from healing took place. So he can't make that.
Well, can we
mistake
talk
again.
about, may I jump in on that point, Christina?
Yeah.
How about Letitia James? Letitia James of New York, the Attorney General, who's now caught up in mortgage fraud assertions.
Yeah.
Number 81 here, if you would, Paul. Play this for Christina, then I'd love to get your reaction. She's speaking with Joy Reid, who's out of a job herself, by the way. Here we go.
Donald Trump said that he wanted, he said that he called me all kind of names, and he basically directed the Department of Justice to investigate my affairs. And they're using mortgage fraud as the vehicle upon which they're investigating myself, Adam Schiff, Miss Cook, Lisa Cook, and countless others. And it is, most of it, as you know, is frivolous, it's baseless, because in order to prove mortgage fraud, one has to prove intent. And that's a very high standard, a very high bar to meet.
I love, you know what I love? Okay. What I love about that is she's basically not even denying that she fraudulently filled out documents, that she and Schiff and Cook well, basically we all did. You got us, but you got to prove intent. That's really a remarkable statement, Christina.
Right. And then the other half of that is she's saying, yeah, I did it, but my defense is going to be that I was too stupid to understand what I was doing, which quite honestly might be a fair defense. So either way is fine.
Yeah. We're in a weird place, obviously, to say the least. Weird may not be the right word, but we're in this time where you got people standing outside a courtroom cheering a guy who obviously, in cold blood, shot in the back a man who ran, his guilt is that he ran a health insurance company, and for that he was murdered, and people cheer his murder. Yeah. And at the same time, people like you are dragged through courts of law simply for your, political points of view and working for a candidate. And I think people puzzle in a time like this. How do we reverse course? My answer is we got to win elections and continue to stay in power and relegate these people to the ash heap of political history. Your thoughts?
That's exactly right. And we also have to restore morals to every area of society, whatever industry, family, everywhere. We have to recognize that we have morals. You don't have to have the same religious belief, but we have to hold human life sacred. And I mean, the healthcare CEO is hardly a sympathetic victim when you look at the people all over the world, all over the country, at least, that he denied healthcare for. But that doesn't change the fact that he's a human and doesn't deserve to be murdered in cold blood. There's other ways to challenge his decisions and challenge his company. And when you have people cheering this, it runs very, very cold, and it's a very ugly society to live in. It's a very hostile, unforgiving society, and that is not what we want to build. So we have to call it like it is. Thank you for doing so on your show. And we have to choose. We have to consciously choose to correct our course.
Christina Bob's book is called Defiant. Because we have limited time, I don't know. Can you stay with me for another segment?
Sure. Anything for you, Chris.
Well, bless your heart. I want to get into some Kash Patel from yesterday, and I don't want to rush that. But let me ask you this before we run out of time in this segment, and that is, when I hear people like Barack Obama say, they don't want to use this Charlie Kirk assassination as an attempt to silence us and our ideas, sincere question, what was the last idea you remember the Democrats actually debating?
Oh, Lord. No, they don't
debate ideas? Do they offer an alternative to what we offer in policy? I don't know that I ever hear it. Sincerely. I
don't know. Well, I don't know. I definitely am not familiar with any legitimate debate that I think Democrats have had. I think, I guess my broad point is, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but my broad point is, there's never a good faith debate about policy. It's that you're a fascist and you deserve jail time. Yeah. That's where they always go, right? And that's right. And they have come so far left that they've lost every issue. I mean, they're so far left at this point that everybody is to the right of them. And so, those are the people in power are extremely left. And so when everybody is to the right of you, you can't really debate policy because nobody agrees with you. You're never going to win that debate. And so they resort to totalitarianism, which is what we're seeing with election fraud and murder and assassinations, attempting to kill Donald Trump. They have to resort to totalitarian tactics because they don't have anything else.
The shifty senator from California, Adam Schiff, and Kash Patel with this back and forth. I wanted to get your reaction to it, Christina.
I think the American people believe the truth, that I'm not in the weeds on the everyday movements of inmates.
Not in the weeds.
What I am doing is protecting this country, providing historic reform, and combating the weaponization of intelligence by the likes of you. And we have countlessly proven you to be a liar in Russiagate, in January 6th. You are the biggest fraud to ever sit in the United States Senate. You are a disgrace to this institution and an utter coward.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised that you continue to lie from your perch and put on a show so you can go raise money for your charade. You are a political buffoon at...
Yeah. I don't disagree with anything Kash said, but my question for you, Christina, Bob, is I want you to grade for me DOJ right now. I want you to grade for me Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, who notably have been making the rounds recently. Pam Bondi coming under fire this week, some comments she made about hate speech. Yeah. What about these three? Because now there are reports that there's infighting and it's just an interesting time for those three, and I wonder how you read it.
Yeah. I think they're doing great. I know it's not perfect, it's not easy, but I think they're doing as well as anybody could in that position. They're in a very difficult position in the sense that they are charged with leading an agency that doesn't support them. All of them, all three of them have to work with agents and operatives who are trained in deception and don't support their views. They have to figure out who they can trust, who they can't trust. And a lot of times you don't even know, you can't tell who's deceiving you and who's not. You give someone an assignment, why isn't it working? You don't know. And so I want to give them a lot of grace in the sense that they have a very, very hard mission right now. I think they are doing as well as they can. I do want to see a little bit more out of them. I want to see some more insight. Adam Schiff. I mean, we've heard that they have, conclusive evidence that he lied under oath. He lied about intelligence. He also, I think mortgage fraud is one of his things as well, claiming he lived, his primary residence was in D.C. when he was a California senator. So I want to see charges brought. I want to see these people brought to justice. So that's an area where, I'll reserve my judgment and say, okay, what are they doing? But I think they're doing as well. Who can do it better, So
can you? You know the president pretty well. You've worked with the president legally in a legal capacity. Pam Bondi is close to this president. I often see her physically with him. He has full faith in her. Is there something there that we don't see? We're not privy to. He has full faith in her for some reason that we just don't all fully see yet or understand. Is that something?
Well, I can't speak on behalf of the president, but from my relationship with both of them, I know both of them well. I think he trusts her because she's been very loyal. She's incredibly smart, very capable. She was the Attorney General of Florida. She knows how to do this job. And I think she's just been loyal when most people ran for the hills. And I'll remind everybody that in 2020, she stayed loyal to him. She went to Pennsylvania to fight for transparency in Pennsylvania in 2020 when all of President Trump's legal team were abandoning him. And so she's proven herself to take on fights that are hard. Nobody wanted to fight the 2020 election. Quite honestly, that's how I got connected to the president, was because I was willing to do the same thing, and when most people weren't. So she's proven to take on tasks that are very hard and unpopular and stay truthful and loyal to him, and I think that's incredibly important in this environment.
So, Christina, with 30 seconds to go, this is the reason we feel like maybe we're not seeing foot on the gas pedal action out of DOJ, you believe, is because inside it is a deep state culture resistant to their every effort. Is that about right?
I think that's a large part of it. Yeah, I think there's procedural issues. I think there's internal issues. But yeah, when you have to try to run an agency that isn't supportive of your mission, I think that causes some real serious problems. So I think that's the vast majority of the problem, yeah.
Yeah, I think people always feel like, Bill Barr, I had high hopes for Bill Barr, for instance, and that didn't pan out. You know what I mean? And Jeff Sessions, who I think is a good man, it's like DOJ swallows these people whole somehow. It's very frustrating.
That's the perfect description, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Christina Bobb, she is talking, and she's got a great book. It's a bestseller called Defiant. Go pick it up. Thanks for your time.
The Chris Stigall Show podcast.